This video is going to cover the infotainment system in the 2021 Genesis GV80. This is the home screen that you see up here. You can actually use the controls down here, pressing the center of this touchpad or scrolling the wheel that you have here will move away from that main screen. This is also touch, so I can hit home to get there. I can swipe. There's different profiles I can access using some controls in the upper corner. And there's different menus I can get to in a few different places right on the main screen here. So the dedicated home screen is kind of this comm screen, just showing the temperature and the current audio and things like that. And as soon as you go to the other one by scrolling, this is also sort of a home screen, but it just lays out different tiles that you have for map, navigation menu, radio functions, any media, HD radio data, phone, Genesis connected services, which are not active right now, phone projection, and there's multiple pages to scroll over. Voice memos, setup, sounds of nature, valet mode, seat, passenger talk, quiet mode, climate, and then another screen which has notifications and the owner's manual. So those are the main tiles. We'll go back to the beginning, which I'll do with the wheel. It's a little bit faster. And we'll go into each section. First up is map. There's a lot of different controls here. You're going to see that I can zoom in and out simply by pinching on the touch screen. I can also zoom in and out by using the touchpad, since it is a very similar gesture that I can perform. This does have handwriting controls as well, so we'll get into that when we go to show some of the destinations. You'll see that I can even scroll in and out to zoom in and out in different locations. So many controls to operate these functions right here just by pulling up the map. I can adjust the navigation volume here.
Guidance will be at this volume. Guidance will be at this volume. Guidance will be at this volume.
This is one of the things that we had a few gripes with, because a lot of the other functions, if there's currently sound playing, whatever it's coming from, whether it's the sort of sound noises that it has from part of the moods that it will play, or if it's just radio, or if it's notifications from some of the other parts of the infotainment system, simply scrolling the volume dial will change them. The navigation, that's not the case. The only way to adjust that volume that we have found is using that nav volume button that you see on the screen here. You'll see that I can also access a few other views. The compass icon allows me to switch between 2D heading up, 2D north up, a 3D map, a neon white version of the map, and all neon. The other things that we can change are the auto zoom or the current zoom. And then there's a menu we can pull up. This allows us to turn the display off entirely, pull up navigation settings, save a destination, look for nearby points of interest, display traffic on the map, or set a destination. Go to navigation settings, and you'll see that we can go through display, guidance, alerts, and others. First is the map properties, map display modes, picking a map view, same choices that we had on screen earlier. You can choose between daytime and nighttime in this menu, we couldn't before. Map font sizes, standard, large, extra large. Map colors, milk, cafe latte, and mocha. And points of interest that we want to display. It did have this pretty interesting auto display when gas is needed, which we've seen come on when we have low fuel, which was nice. And that's it for the different map settings. We also have information, so route guidelines. You can choose traffic colors. You can pick dedicated colors, Genesis Copper or Genesis Rust. Same thing for vehicle symbols. Pick the different colors. Show your current vehicle speed, and whether or not you want the detailed guidance view during turns and maneuvers. Map auto scale settings. Selectable at different mile-an-hour ranges. And set the time at which you'd like to return to the map when the navigation cuts in when you're on other screens. And whether or not you'd like auto recentering. Under guidance navigation settings, you can choose to show the guidance distance at different intervals or cumulative distance. And show route overviews while stopped. You can customize the camera alert distance, but that would require Genesis connected services to be activated. And then there's different options for previous destination settings. Fuel price info, different user data that you can import or export, GPS information for your current location, and a reset function. That's it for navigation settings. If we back up to the main section, instead of the menu option for navigation settings, we'll show you what it looks like to pull up nearby points of interest. There's display settings that we had earlier that we can get to here. And there's different categories that we can search by. Here we can also set a destination. Now you can actually add your home and work destinations, pull up an address book, look at previous destinations, or search. For search, you'll see that there's a few different ways to access this. There's a microphone button where we could use voice recognition. I can type directly on the screen if I wanted to. I also have the option to use a few different versions of this handwriting recognition on the touchpad that you see here. Use 2 fingers to clear everything, and then I can start to write whatever I'd like. So there's a few different ways that we can search for addresses. Once you've selected a destination, you can set it as your destination, save it, look for nearby points of interest to that location, show parking, or even add waypoints if you were already in the middle of a navigation session. We'll set this as our destination. It's now calculating the route, and I have recommended and alternate options, route avoid options, and I can add a waypoint. We'll pick recommended.
Please proceed to the highlighted route. Then the route guidance will start.
And route guidance also shows up.